So, Nick, is Saquon the #1 reason Philly is 8-2? You used to not believe. Well, it feels like you may have come around.
Listen,
what in the world?
I have not an announcement, but an update.
Oh!
It looks like an announcement.
No. Listen, because you guys know, I have been as skeptical, maybe the most skeptical of anyone in the media about Philly this year. Going into it, we'll get to the Saquon stuff in a moment. Right after the show, I'm hopping on the Amtrak straight to Philly for a nice little dinner date over some cheesesteaks with a Philly to the Super Bowl take. Because they after last night, Wilds, there's a lot to like. And the biggest thing to like, and this is, I hate to say it, classic, unadulterated Category 3, Saquon Barkley and his CMC-esque impact on these Philadelphia Eagles.
What a move.
It's undeniable. And hold on, just wait a second, bro. And then after Pittsburgh beats Baltimore this weekend, when Bruce Ballot comes out sometime next week, Saquon should be the MVP favorite.
Wow.
Because the coaching, Sirianni is as shaky as ever, and Jalen Hurts hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been great. Saquon is the difference on offense. A.J. Brown's missed time. Devontae missed one game. They're obviously both really good players. But Saquon, 3 times this year, has had games like yesterday where it's like, oh, wait, Philly's kind of stuck in the muck. They're not really, could they lose this game? And then bang, second half performance by Saquon, he closes the door. He has MVP-ish numbers right now. We can show it to you, his numbers on the season. But then there is, so listen, he's been, with respect to Derrick Henry, the best running back in football. And again, I was dead wrong about it. But then you take this Ben Solak tweet that Josh fact-checked, which is 9 times this year he's carried the ball to the 1-yard line. And then the Eagles let Jalen Hurts do a tush-push touchdown every damn time except for one. So he should have maybe 20 touchdowns already. He gets them to the 1. They do that stupid play. Jalen gets the touchdown. Saquon still at...
That's fascinating.
9 times.
Why is he at the 1 all the time?
So, I don't know, but so...
That's a lie. They happened last night.
And only 1 time have they even given him the next touch. And it was that you see it, Saquon rush, and he didn't score. So... He has 10 touchdowns. He could easily have 15, 16, whatever it is, because they're scoring touchdowns anyway. I think he is the reason offensively they're not in the supernatural funk. He gave him a new swagger. All the folks sending me the tweets that I said he wasn't going to be a difference maker, you're right, I was wrong. Drew was right about Saquon, I was wrong. But here's what I'm excited about, Wilds.
Just quick, can we just give a little backstory before you go into it?
No, I'm not even doing the Eagles
thing. I thought you were.
No, I was going to say I'm excited about this.
Oh.
I think I might, by the end of this segment, be the show's Saquon guy.
Yeah.
No.
Because, I think he's going to be the MVP.
That's fine.
Do you think that?
The Eagles might go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
this
Brew,
is a weak attempt to steal Saquon Barkley and my shine.
It's like when I said Wemby should make the playoffs.
Yeah, just say
everything
the MVP.
Everything that you just said, as nice as it was, as true as much of it was, as much as it was music to my ears.
What?
Nick Wright, tell me something I don't know. In fact, tell me something I didn't know,
well, I don't know
in August.
You don't believe in him.
When I told you in August that this dude was going to make a Christian McCaffrey-like impact, and guess what? He's better than Christian McCaffrey. And I think I said that too. He and Derrick Henry are better than Christian McCaffrey.
Up the stakes.
All right, Saquon Barkley, everything you said, and then some I said in August. That with these receivers, with this quarterback, with this offensive line, this dude who actually did damage with the Giants was going to be amazing with the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's why I'm an Eagles guy.
It didn't take that to determine that.
But is he on Bruce Ballot?
He will be next time we show it.
Can he be number?
He has not passed Lamar. Lamar is clearly the MVP right now, but he's passed Derrick Henry. He's passed Derrick Henry. And now, we'll see what Henry does this weekend, but Saquon has passed Derrick. He's averaging more yards per game than Henry. So Saquon has been incredible. All right, just like I said.
I know, like
that
it looks like
Nah,
an MVP.
this is weak.
Yeah.
Everybody
What do you-
sees through that.
what do you mean?
You've been ripping the Eagles for 2 years. Now
Yeah.
you come out
New
here
information.
and
This
try
is
to
why you play the
try to
games.
throw compliments and
This is what people
flowers
want.
Right.
at
Growth.
Saquon Barkley.
Exactly right.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
As a wise man
I'm with
once
people
said,
that keep it
why
real
do
and
you
they
play
see
the
through
games?
this facade.
exactly.
Why do you play the games? I know that,
Can I answer your question?
I might be an
I don't
Eagles guy. They played the Packers on a
Is-
neutral field.
How long you gonna talk?
No, sorry, go ahead.
My goodness. I'm just saying.
Okay,
It's like
so
a 6-minute lead.
Bro, we only have
The
45
question,
seconds.
I know.
Commanders.
The question is this: is he the main reason that they're 8-2 and Super Bowl contenders? Because they are Super Bowl contenders. He is no, as great as he's playing. The defensive improvement. Another thing I told you. Vic Fangio.
That's true.
Nick was ripping Vic Fangio 4 weeks ago. Oh, Vic Fangio this, Vic Fangio that.
It was great with the Dolphins.
That defense was 26 in the league last year, 30th in scoring defense. The same defense now, first in the league overall, 6th in the league in scoring defense. I want to give that defense, Vic Fangio, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, the rookies who've come in and helped them. The difference is the defense. The offense last year, I think we have a graphic. They averaged 25 points last year. And they're averaging 4/10 of a point more this year, as great as Saquon
Show the
been.
defensive
A few more
improvement,
yards.
Dusty, to
Look
add
at the
to Bruce's
defense.
point. Yeah.
They're giving up 18 points a game versus 25 last year. Yards is a huge difference.
And that's the
And those are the
categories,
rankings. Yeah, I mean, so that's the difference. And this, they are running the ball. And this is related to Saquon. They have leaned into their identity as a run-first team. Last year, Jayden was throwing 31 times a game. This year, he's throwing 26 times a game. Last year, they weren't running the ball more than they were passing it. Now they are. That all is related to Saquon. But they ran the ball last year well, too. And 2 years before that, they ran it well. So Saquon is phenomenal. He's my guy.
Well, I mean,
But no, the defense is the reason that you're 8-2 and
definitively, Brew, were early and more correct in the offseason than me. I was dead wrong.
Yep.
You called it on Saquon. You have believed in the Eagles to a degree. But if I go over the top and they're the Super Bowl pick and he's league MVP, I don't know.
First of all, why are you even on the market?
Because
you were
break up with the
wrong
Bears.
about the Cowboys.
The Bears.
No, the Bears.
I had to break up with
And
the
the
Bears.
Cowboys.
I had to break up with the Bears.
Yeah, you were definitely first on it, but it's like a Tesla Edison thing.
Yeah.
It's like one guy was first, and when you really dig into it, he deserves most of the credit. But, I'm paying
I'm
my
just
bills
saying,
to Con Ed,
let's
so.
just fingers crossed that it's, some good cheesesteaks tonight. Yeah.
Dinner at
Have
the sit-down
fun.
cheesesteak
Have
place?
fun.
Yeah, I figured it was, it's a
They're one of the teams of it. I mean, Detroit.
Of course,
coach
they're
has
one of the teams
Detroit.
available.
I got
I
Green
know
Bay.
because
Who you got?
you don't believe in them. He has the Niners.
49ers.
Yeah, he has the Niners.
I'm not quite as locked in.
No, you sound like you
Commanders
wandering
dropped
eyes
to
yourself.
7-4. Jayden throws for less than 200 yards, only rushes for 18. Fair to worry about Jayden.
Yeah. Listen, they're going to make the playoffs. They have 7 wins banked, and they've got, Brew.
Easy schedule.
Well, they've got 2 left against Dallas with either Cooper or Trey playing.
Right.
They get Tennessee and they get New Orleans. And I know you like Tennessee, oddly, but I don't.
Well, the defense is tough. That's all they can do,
But
though.
they don't have to beat any good teams to get to 11 wins.
I agree.
So even if they lose one of those easy games and lose to all the good teams, they still get to 10 wins. And so I'm not worried about them missing the playoffs, but my preseason concerns about Washington, who I think, higher on. I had him finishing second in the division because I didn't believe in Philly. If you remember, I said Washington
Philly out
would
of
be
the playoffs,
alive
right?
for the postseason. Didn't have him in it, but the concern was twofold. First one is you can set your watch to it. Starting around Halloween, Cliff Kingsbury offenses turn into pumpkins. That is at Texas Tech with Patrick Mahomes. That is at Arizona with Kyler. And it appears to have started a couple weeks ago in Washington, and it is odd, and I can't figure it out except that it has happened every year of his coaching career.
It's true.
And the other concern, and this is one that I promise you I was rooting to be wrong about, and I'm still rooting to be wrong about. But is that a 195-pound man can't play quarterback, especially where running is a big part of your game in the NFL. And it took him less than half a season before he suffered an injury that appears to have changed the way he plays. And so we can show it to you, but he made it 6 games and a quarter before he got his rib cracked. And since then, remember, he was completing a historic completion percentage. Now it's well below league average. The rushing has fallen off a cliff, particularly the last 2 games. Nobody doubted. We all saw the kid set records and win the Heisman.
Yep.
Nobody doubted the talent, but that is a concern. And I think you're seeing, and it wasn't even like a devastating injury or a devastating hit, but it was significant enough to change the way he's playing in their offense. So, yeah, that's a concern.
So, Brew, I had Dusty pull this video. I think this was in the first quarter. It looks like the old Jayden Daniels would just get this first down, and the current Jayden Daniels could take it outside. Just like, kind of just avoid, like doesn't want to take a huge hit, but doesn't seem to have the explosiveness.
Right there, he's got the whole field.
Expecting. It reminded me, this clip, watching it, of when we watched Lamar not have that breakaway speed. Not just hit this corner and go.
Last year,
Yeah, so it hit my radar of like, this doesn't look like the same guy we saw earlier in the year.
On that play, he doesn't look explosive.
Yeah,
that one, I mean, is the rib. The rib might still be bothering him.
I think it clearly
But
is.
I'm not worried. I'm not concerned about him because, look, in the first game after the injury, he threw for 326 yards, which was his season high. That was against the Bears. No, after he threw for 326 and a touchdown. Even in the 4 games since the injury, he's had 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. His touchdown numbers aren't that high passing the ball. No. He had only 6 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in the 6 games before the interception.
Right.
He's had a passer rating of over 125 since the injury, and he's had 2 games where he completed 68% of his passes, including last night. So nobody expected him to keep completing 75 to 80% of his passes.
But it's been 59% since
2 games, overall, but he's, like I said, last night he was 68%, and he's faced 2 of the toughest defenses the last 2 games, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. So I'm not concerned about him. In fact, that game against Chicago, he ran for 52 yards, which is the 3rd most he's run for this season. Okay. So I'm sure the ribs are bothering him, and if your ribs are bothering you, you're going to change a little bit the way you play, but I'm not. The Kingsbury thing is more concerning to me than Jayden.
Okay. Chiefs in Buffalo Sunday afternoon. Josh is 3-1 against Patrick in the regular season, favored by 2 points in this game. Nevertheless, he's downplaying the matchup.
It is the biggest game of their season, and it was always going to be the biggest game of their season, and that's even if it didn't have massive literal standings implications. If they lose this game, they are de facto eliminated from contention for, if these 2 teams play in the playoffs, having it be anywhere but Arrowhead. Right. They are, if they lose this game, they are 4 games back of Kansas City in the standings. They would need to go undefeated, and they would need to have the Chiefs go 3-4. So they're done as far as having a better record. They're better seeding than Kansas City. If they win the game, they just need to play 1 game better than Kansas City the rest of the way. And so they're right there in it. And Josh, for as high of his postseason highs have been, we've only seen him play great in the playoffs on the road once, the famous 13-second game, and we can show it to you. His home road playoff splits are stark. It's not like he's been terrible on the road and he has that one brilliant game, the 13-second game, but that's what it is. He throws for more yards, but he's less efficient. He turns the ball over at a higher rate, and the passer rating goes from awesome to decent. And so the Bills, given the fact that if they play the Chiefs again, Isaiah Pacheco will be there, Charles Omenihu will be there, Harrison Butker will be there, and I understand the Bills have guys missing that they theoretically could have back as well. If they lose to Kansas City in their building for the 2nd time in 10 months, psychologically and tangibly, it has massive impacts. So, no, I'm not buying his comments at all, bro.
I agree with you for the most part, but this is what you're supposed to say. Would you rather him go full Cowboys and be like, yep, this is it? No. The winner of this was likely to win the Super Bowl. No, I mean, that's what the Cowboys would have done. This is what you do. This is what you say, look, it's because your mentality has to be, it's just a football game. It's just a regular game. Now, I bet you in the facility, when they have the meetings with the coaches, they all, and among the players, they are talking, yo, this is it. Let's go show these boys something. Let's prove something to the Chiefs, all right? But publicly, this is what you should say. I mean, and even for your own mentality, you just want to keep an even keel. You know, they say don't get too high, don't get too low. Don't make it too big, because if you lose, then what? So you just go out there. It's a regular game. We're going to do our best like we did the week before, and that's how you should say. That's what you should say.
Quickly before we go, the Butker injury, he's going on IR.
Yep.
What level of worried are you from 1 to 10?
Oh, listen, if I had any concern it was going to linger into the postseason, I would be incredibly worried.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the best kicker in the league. Yep. They play a ball control, you know what I mean, long possessions, low-scoring style. And so he's more valuable to them this year than he would have been 5 years ago. But it's his non-kicking leg, and they said he'll be ready when he can come off IR in 4 weeks. So my level of concern is close to zero. Because the glass half full of it is maybe it forces them to be a little more aggressive on fourth downs. You know what I mean? In some of these next few games, which could be good for him. Again, I'm not acting like, I think he's the best kicker in football now that Tucker's not the same guy anymore and Aubrey doesn't get to kick important kicks because the Cowboys stink. But all the prognosis is that he should be back by January, and the Chiefs don't play big games until January.
Having him, and when you're late in the game and you only have to get to the 43.
Yeah. Or the 42. I think that's mentally taxing for the opponent,
that's huge.
Too. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.